Hello, friends, and happy World Card Making Day. I am Gina from Gina K Designs, and I am so glad to see all of you here in the chat. Oh, what a fun day. A whole day dedicated to our hobby. We crazy stampers, right? Card makers. This is so exciting. Well, I want to send a big thank you to Catherine and the team, Megan, and the whole team at Scrapbook and Cards Today magazine for inviting me to be part of today's event. I have a fun card project planned for you today using foil. Now, foil is getting hotter and hotter as the days go on, and so I thought that I would show you a fun card using foil and coloring stencils. But before we get started, I just want to say hello to Tom because he's going to be here helping, and if you have any questions, he's going to help field those questions. So, hey, Tom.
Hello. Hey.
How are you?
I am better than horrible.
It is a wonderful Saturday here.
World Card Making Day. What
Right?
an awesome way to reach out.
It's an awesome way to celebrate our hobby. And Tom, you've done a little bit of card making, right?
Yes, and I guess you could call it that, right?
We'll do our best.
Under the watchful eye of Gina K, I've been able to get a few things past the censors. The bar, the standard bar, better than horrible.
That's right. Well, it's always fun to have you craft with me, but today I'm going to be demonstrating foiling again. We can't seem to get enough foiling around here, right?
Yes, it's been a very sparkly, shiny month so far in just a few days.
It really has. All right, Tom. Well, if you see any questions, please shout them out to me because I'm going to be working. And if you have a question out there, make sure you start your comment with the word question because it's a little easier to see. Now, for those of you who don't know me, I am Gina from Gina K Designs. I am the creative director of Gina K, and we have been in business for, I always get the amount of years wrong. You know how like after your kids pass 21, you feel like you got them there and you don't remember how old they are anymore? Well, it's kind of getting close to that with Gina K Designs. I think we are 19 years now, right? Tom, is that right? 2005? Is that correct?
2005 or 6, yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we'll have to get the exact date because I know it was like right at the end of the year or right at the beginning of the year. It was within a couple of months. So we are getting close to our 20-year anniversary at Gina K Designs, and we do everything from stamps and dies and stencils and inks, cardstock, tools. So if you haven't checked us out, we would love you to do that.
That deserves a party horn sound.
Uh-oh.
There it is.
All right. Thank you. Well, today we're going to be featuring a tool that is a Gina K Designs exclusive item. This is it right here. It is called our Fuse Foiling System. And this is a laminator style system. But what's great about the Fuse is it's got 6 different heat settings. So you can foil on everything from the lightest weight vellum, foil your stamps, all the way up to lightweight chipboard and heavier materials. Now we're going to be using a product that is also a Gina K exclusive. It's called Poly-Glaze. And Poly-Glaze sheets are very similar to toner sheets, except instead of being printed with toner, they're printed with a clear poly-glaze. Now we do first print them with a light gray so you can see the design, but then they're coated with a clear poly-glaze, and the poly-glaze actually works as an adhesive when it goes through our Fuse foiling system or any laminator, and it makes the foil adhere or fuse to the Poly-Glaze sheets. I'm going to be using these 2 designs today in my card, and we are also going to be using coloring stencils. Now, you may hear the words coloring stencils or layering stencils. The big difference between them is layering stencils will work all by themselves, but they also can coordinate with Poly-Glaze and other toner sheet designs. Coloring stencils are just the outlines of the designs that color in whatever is on your Poly-Glaze or your toner sheets, or your stamps. So they're a little bit different in that usually layering stencils can be used all by themselves, and coloring stencils are designed to color in a stamped or foil design. So we're going to be using layering stencils today to work with these Poly-Glaze foiling sheets. So I'm going to show you basically how to foil, and then we're going to create a fun card, and I'm going to show you a few other tips and tricks along the way. So let me just back out a little bit here because I'm pretty close. There we go. So I'm going to take one of these Poly-Glaze sheet designs, and this one is called Superstar. You get 10 sheets in a pack, and each one of these can actually make 2 card fronts if you use the negative piece when you're done. And I'll show you how we do that. So I'm going to start with a Swiffer duster, and I'm going to dust all over the surface of this Poly-Glaze sheet because we don't want to get any dust in between our foil and the Poly-Glaze. And that's a great tip if you're using toner sheets out there as well. Now the color foil that I'm going to use for this background, I'm going to be using the Gina K Designs Fancy Foils in the glimmering gold color. So you can see this has lots of sequins and stars and glitter in here. It's got all kinds of little things that make it not just shiny, but super shiny. Takes the shine up to the next level because you get glitter in there too.
First question.
Yes.
From Patricia, can these be used in a mink and work with the same foil for toner sheets?
Absolutely. Yes, yes, yes. The Poly-Glaze works in the mink. It'll also work in a regular laminator. However, regular laminators it's difficult to control the heat. So we do recommend something like the Fuse, or if you have the mink, that will work great as well. Now, we're going to dust the back of this foil sheet as well because we want to make sure all that dust is off of there. And then I'm going to lay these 2 pieces together. And then I'm going to put this sandwich into a carrier sheet. Now, the carrier sheet comes with the Fuse, but you can also get extra ones if you've lost yours or yours gets crinkled. I always suggest having a couple anyway because you can have one going through the machine while you're getting your next one ready. And you can buy those separately. Now, I did turn on my Fuse in the back, and then I used the button to turn it up to level 3. Level 3 is the most common setting that you're going to use. It's great for all Poly-Glaze and all toner sheets. The other ones are for things like foiling your stamps. We would be down around 1 or 2, foiling vellum, lightweight acetates, things like that. And then these 4 and 5s, I would use those for the heavier weight products like chipboard. Okay, now we're going to send this through with the folded side going through first, and we're going to make sure that it goes through straight. If we're too much on an angle, and I'm a little bit on an angle, but not bad, if you're too much on an angle, it can crinkle up in there. And if you don't have the folded side going through first, then your ends can kind of get tangled up into the rollers.
Okay, 2 questions.
Yes.
Were the Swiffer dusters you used discontinued? I've not been able to find them anywhere.
Well, I see them, I know they're on Amazon. But any kind of anti-static cloth that you can find will work. So maybe type that into the search and see if you can find something like that. Or I know like at my Home Depot they have them, so you could try something like that.
And another question, do you have more than the candle set of Poly-Glaze and stencils yet?
Yes, we have a balloon one as well, and I'm going to show you a sample of that at the end that I've done. And we have lots of different floral designs that work as well, and I'll show you a few samples of those as well at the end. Okay, so now that this has come out and it's cooled, I'm going to go ahead and peel that off, and you can see that beautiful design that's left behind. Isn't that gorgeous? It's so glittery and shiny. Okay, so then I'm going to show you, even though we're not going to use this today, I am going to show you how to use this negative piece. So just like I told you, 1 piece of Poly-Glaze will get you 2 cards. I'm going to show you how to do that. We're going to foil some toner paper. Now you can also foil white Poly-Glaze sheets, and I think I have those here. I was laughing at Laura and Cody because I know what it's like to want to show something at the last second and you're not sure if you actually have it on your table. And I may not have any on my table right now, but white Poly-Glaze sheets are very similar. Here they are. Very similar to black toner sheets. This is what they look like. These are white pieces of cardstock that are coated with our Poly-Glaze material. So they will work just like these designer Poly-Glaze sheets, except the entire thing will grab the foil because they're solid Poly-Glaze as opposed to just a design printed with the Poly-Glaze. But I'm going to show this to you on black because I think it might be even a little more striking with the gold. So I'm going to be using toner sheets for this. These are by my friends at ThermoWeb. They also make all of my foils and a lot of my adhesives. And these are fantastic. So this is another great thing to have in your foiling arsenal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this down to about 3.5 inches here. And then I am going to clean this off with my Swiffer duster. And I'm going to clean the back of this one. Remember, this is the one that we peeled off of this panel. Nothing's going to go to waste. We're going to put that on top of that black panel. And then we're going to put this inside of the carrier sheet. Now, what we're going to hope to achieve here is a beautiful gold piece of cardstock that has black stars, black shiny stars all through it. So there we go. Oh, Rebecca says Walmart has the Swiffer dusters. Excellent. Okay. Yeah, I think, you know, I do remember there was a little bit of a shortage with them at some point, and I'm not sure why.
And
maybe a lot of crafters got a hold of them.
Question from Virginia. What do you mean foiling stamps?
Not foiling stamps. I mean foiling your stamp designs. I have a whole video on my channel that I just did last Tuesday night showing you how you can take any stamps that you have in your collection and add foil to them. So check out that video on my YouTube channel and you'll learn how you can foil all your stamp designs using fancy foils and the fuse. Okay, so now this just came out. I'm going to give it a second to cool and then check this out. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? So now you have a gold panel that you could use for a card, and you have a white panel with stars. So you can see you used every little bit of this foil, and you were able to use one Poly-Glaze sheet to make 2 cards. So that 10-pack of Poly-Glaze sheets and 10 little sheets of foil will actually give you 20 card bases. Okay, so there's 2 backgrounds. We're going to use this one today. Now I'm going to make another panel here. I'm going to use the Layered Candles Poly-Glaze sheets. These are actually bigger than what's on the front, but they didn't fit. You can see that design there. And I'm going to foil this one not with the glimmering gold this time, but I'm going to use our plain 14 karat. I like the plain foil when I'm doing the layering stencils or the coloring stencils. I feel like it just gives a crisper image to color on. So I'm going to take one piece here of the 14 karat foil, and again I'm using my Swiffer duster. I've been using this same Swiffer duster for like 5 videos. It lasts a long time. And then I'm going to put those together, and then we are going to go ahead and send this through the machine. Okay, so let's send this through.
Question, curious about the fuse foiling system. Is there a video on what all it does?
I have a whole playlist with probably, I don't know, 35 videos on foiling. And on that playlist, so if you go to my channel and you click on playlists, the tab that says playlist, look for foil. On that playlist, there is a video that says introducing the fuse foiling system, and it tells you all kinds of things that it does. Okay, so now this is coming through, and we are going to get ready to stencil. But before we do that, I am going to actually trim 2 more pieces of this toner paper, because I want to show you how you can create solid metallic cardstock to use with your die cuts, your dies, and we're going to die cut some words. So I'm going to use some Radiant Red here for one of my words, And these are the dies I'm going to use. I'm going to use this Graphic Happy Birthday die set. It's a 4-piece die set, and it's got the word happy and a shadow die and the word birthday and a shadow die. So I just want to make sure that my toner paper is going to be big enough for me to cut out the word happy. So I don't need a ton of it. I'm just going to take a pair of scissors. I'm going to make it a little bigger just to make it easy for me. And then I am going to brush that with the Swiffer duster, and then I'm going to lay this on top. I'm going to Swiffer dust the back of that, and then I'm going to lay those together, and then I'm going to cut a piece of this radiant red foil. Now you do want to make sure that your foil goes over the outside of your toner sheet or your Poly-Glaze, because this toner and also Poly-Glaze is going to melt when it goes through the fuse. So you want to make sure that it's not going to melt onto your carrier sheet. By covering it completely with foil, it won't melt on your carrier sheet. So we'll take this one out, and we'll put this one in, and we'll send this one through the fuse. Okay. What's nice about this is there are beautiful metallic and glitter papers out there, but maybe you have a smaller craft space and you don't want to have big, amounts of all different glitter papers and metallic papers. You can make your own. You can just make what you need. So here we go. Look at that. Oh, isn't that pretty? Look at the candles. They're so nice. All right, and this is what we're going to stencil with our layering stencils. And you can, if you want, put this onto like a piece of black toner paper or white Poly-Glaze paper, and you could do the negative here. Now, you wouldn't really be able to stencil that, but you wouldn't have to because it's got so much fun shine and sparkle there. But I'll save that one for later. And now, while that's going through, I'm going to get one more piece of foil here because I'm going to do my happy in red sparkle foil, the radiant red. I'm going to do the word birthday in the glimmering gold foil. So let me find my die here so I know how much to cut. I don't really need a ton. But like I said, I like to go just a little bit bigger. It gives me some safety. And when I say safety, like if a tiny little bit doesn't foil right on the toner paper, I've got room to manipulate the die. So just go a tiny bit bigger. And then let's see if we have a piece of foil here that we can use. Don't forget to Swiffer. Dust, dust. We need to dust.
Do you put your Swiffer cloth in a plastic bag when not in use?
I don't. I just... It's rarely not in use because I'm so into foil lately, but I just sit it right on my desk. It's just always there to grab. And I know maybe that, isn't a great idea because it will attract dust, but at least it attracts the dust and it doesn't put dust on things. So let me try to open this here. And then we'll put this one inside and we will foil this piece of toner paper.
And Anne wants to know, how do you get the foil so smooth? Mine always crinkles.
Okay, so if your foil crinkles, then you are foiling against the grain, and you want to foil with the grain. And it's interesting because it's very hard to see the grain, especially on the glitter foils. But if you look at some of the plain foils, like this plain gold, and you're not going to be able to see it here at all because you really have to look close. But you'll be able to see very, very thin lines going in a certain direction. If you foil in the direction that the lines go, you're less apt to get crinkles. The other reason you might get crinkles is because your machine is too hot. So if your machine is set to 4, that's going to be too hot for this particular technique. If you're using a regular laminator, it might crinkle because that laminator might just be too hot and you don't have any control over the temperature. So if you love this technique, consider a fuse or a mink. If you have a mink, consider that as an option because you get a lot more control with the machine than you do with a plain laminator. All right, so I'm going to turn this off because we are done foiling. And now I've made myself a piece of red metallic paper. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? And I've made myself a piece of gold metallic cardstock. All right, now what we're going to do next is we are going to color this with the coloring stencils. So I'm going to just put a tiny little bit of tape on the back of this.
Question, can you alcohol ink the solid white Poly-Glaze and then foil with the leftover candles, the negative, I guess?
You probably, well, the Poly-Glaze, I'm not sure. I've never done that, so I would have to say just try it and see what happens. But you could definitely do cardstock. Okay, so I'm using just a mono sand eraser because there was a tiny little spot that foiled, and I'm not sure why, but it foiled and I just erased the foil. You just get rid of it by scratching it right off. Okay, so we're gonna do a rainbow blend today on these stencils. Now there's other different ways that you can use these stencils, but a rainbow blend is a really, really fun way to use them. So I'm going to start with our Gina K Designs Red Hot ink. And where did I put my stencils? Here they are. They are hiding. So I'm going to start with the solid of the two. And I'm going to lay this right on top here. And line it up. Now, if you have a sticky mat or you have a craft mat that you can use, by all means do that. But if you don't, you're not out of the game. Just go ahead and line it up and take a little pixie tape or washi tape and just secure it down. Now, I'm going to start with the red. So I have a red small blending brush. These are the small blending brushes by Gina K Designs. And I'm going to start working my way from this side to this side in rainbow. So I'll start over here, adding some red to this. Now, you may be asking, well, can I ink blend and then foil? Yes, you can. But for this detail stuff, I actually prefer foiling first because it's easy for me to see where to foil. The Poly-Glaze is so light that sometimes it's a little difficult to see. So you know what, I'm not going to clean this either because I think it's going to just help with the blend. So now I'm going to go with Tangerine Twist. I think that's the color I told Megan. I may have used Sweet Mango, but either one will work beautifully. And then I'm going to go over this with that beautiful, bright, vibrant orange. Okay. And now I'm going to move to my yellow, which is Wild Dandelion. Nice, bright, vibrant yellow. And for this one, I'm going to start on this candle and work my way back. Just because yellow is lighter than the orange, and I want to definitely get some of that bright yellow in there. And then I can bring some of that orange into it. There we go. Next, I'm going to use green. I've got Lucky Clover here. This is a great fun green to use. And I have a green brush ready to go. So again, I'm going to start like right down here and then work my way into that yellow just a tiny bit. I don't want to get rid of all that yellow. Okay. Next, I'm going to use some Turquoise Sea. Do that down here. I actually think I can add one more color than I did in my original one because I started over a little bit further, which is great. So I'm going to use medium lilac. And again, if you don't have these exact colors, don't worry about it. Just use whatever red, orange, yellow, green, purple you have. All right, we'll get some purple in there. I'm going to go a little heavier on the purple here. And then I'm going to go back with that turquoise brush and I'm going to work some turquoise over this. Let's get a little more turquoise on the brush. Just to change that color up a little bit. Makes it more blue. And then my final color, which is not on the blog today because I didn't know that I was going to get to this point, but I'm going to add some passionate pink. I love a full rainbow, and so why not? Why not go with the passionate pink? Catherine, this is for you. Have to have a little pink in there. All right. So now we have that first layer of candles done. I'm going to take a paper towel and I'm going to wipe over this because I want to get the ink off of the foil. All right, but you can still see we still have lots of shine in there. See that gorgeous shine? We didn't lose any shine. Now, since I have this stencil out and it's already taped and it's already kind of dirty, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just knock down the stencil to the flames, and I'm going to use some yellow, some wild dandelion for this. And we'll get our wild dandelion flames started. Okay. Alrighty. So that's looking pretty good. So next, I'm going to take the next layer stencil, layer 2, and I'm going to lay this on top. I'm just going to line it up with those empty dots. You see those empty dots? There's one completed one there. But that's okay. That'll still turn the color we want it to turn, because we're going to do this in black. Of course we're going to do black. I can't make a card without black. So for this, I'm going to use one of our detail brushes. It's going to get into the small areas a little bit better. And that looks like this. So here's a black fine detail brush. Okay, so now I'm just going to go ahead and ink into these little areas. Getting some black in there. I feel like the black really is striking to add a little bit of black into everything that I do. And if you follow me on YouTube, every once in a while I'll make a card where I don't use black, and then I'll get messages afterwards. Were you feeling okay tonight? Because you didn't use any black on your card. Oh my goodness, I love a little black outline. All right.
I wonder how often it happens where people are watching and they get the thought that I do sometimes, what the heck is she doing now? And then you just have to wait.
And then, I know, right now it looks like a hot mess, doesn't it? But it'll look nice. I promise. I'm sure that on most of my videos, people are like, what the heck is she doing at all times? Okay. I think that's pretty good. So let's just check it out there. See, doesn't that make a difference? And again, we didn't lose any shine. That gorgeous shine is still there. Oh, when I see the shine, I just get so excited. And then I'm going to go ahead and just bump this right up here, and we're going to add a little bit of orange into those candles. So we're going to use Tangerine Twist again. Just add that to each of those. And there we go. That's so fun. So fun. I can't get enough of the shine. All right, and then I'm going to just take a paper towel and just blot that up because, again, I've got a lot of ink on the foil, and I just want to blot it up. Okay. So now it's time to do some die cutting. And we'll give this ink just a chance to sit and dry. I'm going to put this aside because I'm going to cut that one with a paper cutter. Now let me get my die cutting machine. And let me move my blending brushes out of the way. Okay, so I've got my die cutting machine here. This is the Gina K Designs Intercut die cutting machine. And I do have a magnetic mat, but I do have to say that, and I said this in Laura's video, the magnetic magic mat also works with our regular Intercut mat. So if you're interested in their mat, that works really nicely. All right, so I'm going to cut some dies, but I don't know where I put them. Here they are. I moved them over here. And then I'm going to cut the birthday out of gold, and I'm going to cut the happy out of red. And I'm going to move that up because this foiled so well that I can actually get another happy birthday out of this. So why waste it, right? Okay, so I'm going to send this through the Intercut. Sorry if my head got in the way. Oh, my bracelet? Yes, that's my my obsidian. That keeps everything negative away. So I've been told. I don't know, because it's not around me. I can't see it anymore. All right, let's pull these out of here. And again, so you can keep these pieces and you can make more sparkly die cuts. And then I'm going to just take this mat off and just bend it a little bit to pull that up. There we go. And I'm just going to clean these little pieces off real quick over my trash can. I'm going to try to do it over my trash can. My floor looks like a disco with all the little bits and pieces of foil. And I'm going live with Simon Hurley next week. And he's coming into the studio, so I'm going to have to vacuum. It's a problem.
You have to get floor organized.
I have to get floor organized, right. Okay, now I'm going to get a piece of white cardstock. Just a plain piece of white. And I'm going to cut 2 of the shadow dies using white. Oh, Simon Hurley's always a hoot. My machine's set a little tight here. He is always so much fun. Sorry about that. Okay. There we go. Oh, Linda, there's no word of the day today. We were not prepared, but but Linda, you really have to go and watch Thursday's video because Tom's words of the day were completely focused on glitter, right, Tom? Wasn't that Thursday?
Glitter, yes.
It was he had so many words of the day that you're gonna just die laughing. It's so funny. All right, so now I'm gonna put this away. And we are going to trim this piece down by hand. And now this today, or the other day when I made this card, made me realize that I need to create a new Master Layouts die set that's going to cut this out perfectly. So I'm going to work on that. But I'm just using my Mono Sand Eraser to get rid of that dot adhesive that I put on the back. Just so it doesn't stick to my little paper cutter here. And I'm going to cut this down to 3 by 4. So I'm kind of just eyeballing it here. I've got it close to the edge over here, and I can see my 4 line down here, and I think that's going to be pretty good. But we definitely need a master layout set for this, no doubt. Okay, so there's 4 inches across. And now I'm going to cut this to measure 3 inches. So I can see I still have a little room at the top up here, and I can see my 3-inch line here. So I think this will work. There we go. So there I have my cute little panel. And now I'm going to cut this one down to 3 3/4 of an inch by 5. Now this I could cut with Master Layouts 1, but I decided I would use a paper cutter today just so that everybody can see that you can make this card without any special dies, and you can just stamp a greeting that you have in your collection, maybe emboss it with some embossing powder to get a similar look if you don't want to use any dies at all. Alrighty, well now it's time to assemble.
Question, Linda wants to know what setting for foiling acetate.
Well, it depends, because acetate has different thicknesses, so I would always start on the lower setting. I would try maybe setting 1 if it's really thin acetate, and then move up from there. But if you're foiling acetate, make sure that you are using heat-resistant acetate. Otherwise, it's just going to be a melted, gloppy mess, and it's going to ruin your carrier sheet. So it has to be heat-resistant acetate. Okay, so now we've got all our little pieces here, and we're going to construct this card. So I cut this to be just 1/8 of an inch bigger than this panel. This was this was 5 by 3 3/4. This is 5 1/8 by 3 7/8, and that'll give me that nice little shadow layer that I love. Okay. Yeah, we need a matching die that would cut out the candles for sure. That will be a good thing for a future master layout set. Okay, now this is going to go onto my green Lucky Clover card base. I chose Lucky Clover because green's in the middle here, and I feel like that just will draw your eye right to the center of the card if I use a green card base.
And Cindy is asking, she said she's new to Gina K. What are the master layouts?
So Master Layouts is a series of die sets. We're up to 17 already. And they help you do card layouts. So if you struggle with card layouts, these are curated. Here, let me just show you a couple of them here so that you can see. Here, I'll show you Master Layout 17. So this one works with A6 cards. It's got a stitched panel and then a panel that makes a little shadow layer around that. It's got a panel in a smaller panel that you can use as a grounding panel for die cuts, or that you can stamp on and make it your focal image with a little shadow layer panel for that. It's got a window die and a frame. And so there's all different configurations to using this set. Master Layouts 2, this one is more for A2 cards. It's got a stitched one and a plain one and a stitched center panel and a plain one, and then it's got some word flag type of dies that are stitched. Master Layout 16, as an example, is filled with stuff to make fish bowls, portholes, waves in the ocean. But if you flip this around, it turns it into a little snow globe. And that's courtesy of my friend Kathy Zilski. She came up with that fantastic idea. Master Layouts 14 is a postage grid stamp. It also has a stitched stamp that works as a shadow layer or coordinates with Master Layouts 1.
Postage grid die, right?
Postage grid die, yeah, I'm sorry. And then it's got this unique little grounding panel that you can put floral designs and birds and things on. So there's so many. Just check out our Facebook group and check out my YouTube channel, because we have so many ideas using these. And if you aren't in our Facebook group, Tom, if you want to show them, our Facebook group is called Gina K Designs and Stamp TV Friends. You can go over to Facebook and search that and join our group. You will join a group with 46,000 other members that are in our private group who absolutely love sharing Gina K Designs projects and will share so many fantastic ideas with you. Now, if you share your projects, I guarantee you're going to get a ton of love, because everybody in that group loves to see what each other is making. So we'd love to have you over there. Now I'm going to use some foam squares. I don't know if I have any of my 1/2-inch ones left. I've been using them like crazy, so I'm going to have to use these 1/4-inch ones, which is fine. And I'm going to pop this panel up just to create a little dimension. I know we have a big group. I think we're one of the biggest card making groups on Facebook right now. But you will love it over there, because when people make something with their Gina K design stuff and they share it, I mean, people are so grateful. It is just such a loving, friendly group. Okay, so now we're going to put this on top here with a little bit of dimension from those foam squares. So here we go. Look at all that shine. Isn't that so fun? And now we're going to adhere these panels together, the little happy and the shadow layer. I'm all connected. All right. Yeah, I know, it's such a big group. And I'm so grateful because everybody is just so sweet and so kind. Okay. So now I'm going to use some of the Gina K Designs Connect glue in my fine tip bottle. It's got that nice little fine tip so you can really do tiny little dots and get into the smallest places. And we're going to layer this onto our shadow layer. I probably should have done this the other way. I'm still not as good as Mindy Egan at using the tweezers, but I try my best. All right, so we're going to start with the H and get the H down, and then the rest should fall into place pretty easily. There we go. And if you're looking for a way to, you know, make sure that that stays adhered, just use an acrylic block as a paperweight, and that'll hold that down together. And then we're going to do the same thing with the birthday. I'll be smarter this time. I'll attach it that way. We're going to do the same thing with the birthday. Now, sometimes these cards are so sparkly you don't need any more embellishments. But if you're one of those people that, you know, can't make a card without embellishments, and I am often that person, some gold sequins would look absolutely gorgeous, kind of scattered around those candles. I'm not going to do that today. Okay, let's see. There we go. Got it halfway down. I think the biggest thing is just try not to like do it all at once. Just work your way from one side to the other. There we go. I think that looks pretty good. Kathy Zilski's really good at this too. If you've ever seen her use her tweezers. She's a pro. Got a lot of pros out there. Okay, and now I'm going to use foam squares once again to create even more fun dimension with this happy and birthday. So, let's see. I think I'm going to need some halfies. So let me find my scissors. Oh, here they are. Oh, I've got a couple here. Let's see. Put one there and one up here. And then one down there. I'm going to really foam square it up. Now, I know some people just stack their die cuts too, and you could certainly do that. Just cut a few more shadow layers, and then you don't have to deal with all the little foam squares. And Kathy, I'm sorry, but I'm using my nails as tools and not jewels. Kathy Z is the most gorgeous nails, and she, you know, knows how to use all the tools so that she doesn't have to do what I'm doing, but I don't know. I gotta practice. Okay. So now I'm gonna put this up here, like about here. And then my birthday is going to go under it and a little over it, like that. So I'm just gonna put a couple little half foam squares down here and then a couple full ones from the D over. So we'll do a full one there, and a full one here. And then we'll do just a couple little half ones. I just cut these in half with my scissors. I'm going to need a few more. I'll do real skinny ones. And then I'm going to just put some foam, just some dot adhesive up here so it sticks to the happy. Like that. All right. Get my fancy tools here to take to take off the the little liner papers. And all right. So I want to make it kind of even. So I think that's good. There we go. So there is my happy birthday. Now I did one earlier that you saw probably in the graphic that didn't include the pink. So you can see on this one, I just spread out the color a little more. I have a lot more yellow in there and a lot more green. Same card. And then I want to just show you a couple other foiled cards that I used with coloring and layering stencils. So another Poly-Glaze design that we have is our bold balloons. And I made this card, you can see the shine there. I made this card using our bold balloon stencil to color it in. So this is a Poly-Glaze design called Bold Balloons, and then I colored it in with stencils. And then this greeting came from our Thoughtful Flowers Poly-Glaze sheets. And the die set came from our Thoughtful Flowers Stamp and Die bundle. And this is coming back in stock on October 15th with our new release. I'll show you a couple other ones that are currently out of stock, but they're coming back with our new release. Oh, here I wanted to show you this one first too. Here's another one I did with the layering candles, and that's a little bit more of a simple design. And all I did here was just put a little bit, you could put a piece of washi tape or post-it note paper or masking magic strips every other candle, and then do the first layer with all blues and then move the masks over and do the second one with all greens. So I just alternated colors there. And again, I used that same greeting set that I used on this one from the Thoughtful Flowers. And then, speaking of flowers, Thoughtful Flowers, here is the Thoughtful Flowers full floral design. And this all comes in the Poly-Glaze sheets. And I made this using the coordinating coloring stencils. So these coloring stencils really aren't layering stencils the way the candles are, because the layering stencils have two different stencils for each part of the design. The coloring stencils have just the red parts, and then you can go back and do just the green parts. But that's so fun. And the shine is just spectacular with the fuse. I just love it. And the fuse is so easy to use. There's no learning curve at all. There literally is no learning curve. You just turn the machine on, send it through with the foil, and you're going to get great results. Here's another one I did in purples. I'm sorry, Catherine. I don't think purple is Catherine's favorite color, but come on, you got to admit, this is okay, right, Catherine? She's not going to have me back anymore. And this one, I also used that same exact Thoughtful Flowers collection to do this one. And then I have one more. This is our Wishful Flowers collection. And this one has coloring stencils and actually layering stencils too, because these flowers are done in two parts. You can see how pretty that is. So these are all different See, I made it up at the end, Catherine, with pink. So these are all different Poly-Glaze designs that can be used with coloring and layering stencils, and all of it is done simply with the fuse foiling system. All right, everybody. Well, I had so much fun with you guys today. I hope you had fun too. I hope you got a little insight on how easy it is to foil and to add foiling into your collection. It's nice too because our Poly-Glaze designs are very, very economical. A pack of these for 10, for this one right here, let's go to the overhead. This is the layered candles. A pack of these for 10 is only $6.95, and you're going to get 20 cards out of this. So, you know, you can decide, all right, am I kind of sick of candles now? Do I want to move on to a floral design? Do I want to move on to something different? And you've only invested a tiny little bit of money to create so many gorgeous foiled designs. So check them out on our website. You can visit our website at ginakdesigns.com if you've seen things that you like here. And you'll find all kinds of Poly-Glaze designs that you might like. All of our Poly-Glaze is in stock. Our foils are on the way. We should have those. We were hoping we had them for today, but they're going to be in probably Monday and Tuesday. We have our fuse foiling system in stock, which is rare. We are getting very, very limited, very low on the machines. And we do have them not just with the American, North American, Canada plug, but we have them with the proper voltage for Australia, for Europe, and for the UK. So no matter where you are in the world, if you use the same kind of plug and voltage as Australia, pick up our Australian version. If you have the European kind of plug and voltage, pick up our European one. And if you have the UK plug and voltage, pick up our UK one. And you will be foiling right out of the box, no learning curve, super easy to do, and you'll be able to make some of the most beautiful, shiny, sparkly cards. Well, everybody, thank you so much for making me part of your World Card Making Day. A huge thank you to Catherine and Megan for putting together this amazing event and including me as well. I had a great time with you. I hope you guys enjoy all of the rest of the presentations today. I've got another event that I've got to run over to in just a little bit. It is a crazy day out here in World Card Making Day Internet land. So I hope you get time in your crafting room as well. All right, everybody, Tom and I will be back on our YouTube channel on Tuesday night with another Stampin' Chat Live. We go live every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Central and every Thursday at noon Central. So we hope you'll join us over there as well. And in the meantime, everybody, stay safe and healthy. We love you all so very much, and we'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.